Hello everybody, this is Brandon with Crypto Trades and Tech with another weekly update video. As always, I am not a licensed financial advisor, so please do your own research. If you take any trades based on anything that you see here, you're likely going to lose all your money and end up living in a van down by the river. First of all, the big news this week was Twitter announcing that they're enabling the ability for you to tip other Twitter users using the Bitcoin Lightning Network. And we have Jack Mahlers of Strike giving us a demonstration here, so I want to let you watch this video.
Yo, we're here in Chicago, and we've got David here in a Starbucks in El Salvador. David has his Strike account linked to his Twitter account, and we're going to make a free, instant, cash final remittance payment over Twitter. So I'm going to go search David's Twitter account on my phone. I'm going to find his tips button, and I'm going to send David $10 over Twitter for changing the world. It's going to open my non-custodial Lightning Moon wallet. Anyone in the world can download, and I'm just going to hit send. And boom. We just made an instant free remittance payment from Chicago, Illinois, USA to San Salvador, El Salvador over Twitter. Why would anyone ever use Western Union again? When you take one of the world's largest social internet networks and you combine it with the world's best open monetary network, Twitter accidentally becomes one of the best remitting experiences in the world. This one singular payment standard and this one singular open monetary global monetary network is dematerializing all existing monetary networks. Western Union, pawn to E4, your move.
All right, it's a fun little video there. So, exciting news. So, Jack Dorsey continues to support Bitcoin as he says he would at the Bitcoin 2021 conference. And, of course, he alluded to this, so this is not completely unexpected, but the announcement that they have actually done it and enabled it for iOS devices currently, and Android will be coming soon, is a big step forward. In other news, the U.S. has sanctioned the crypto exchange Suex for allegedly facilitating transactions involving illicit proceeds for at least 8 ransomware variants. So this may be a little bit of legitimate news. It may also be a little bit of playing up the crypto involvement in ransomware. Now, in other news, the Grape Network, the one that supposedly broke Solana the other week, raised $1.8 million. So apparently taking things down gets you some good press and some extra VC infusion. In other news, if you're interested in getting involved in Bitcoin mining, Compass Mining will now be selling single ASICs, which can be used to mine at home. I do not know if these are going to be quiet or how loud they're going to be, but making it a little bit more accessible for people who want to do small-scale mining at their home. Now, some in the community might want to do this just to help with the decentralization of the network. There are also quiet miners that I do know of, but they mine other chains, namely Dogecoin and Litecoin. Now, taking a quick look at the leaderboard, we had a big sell-off last week, and so several cryptos are starting to bounce back a little bit, but it's mostly red. Celo Network, the network that's involved in a mobile-first application for DeFi and wallets, is up 38% this week, followed by Avalanche, which continues its tear, up 14% in the face of the crypto headwinds, and Cosmos as well, also leading the pack here. Now, on the downside, of course, we did have a big red week down, but SushiSwap, which had previously been pretty strong, down 28%. A little bit of coming back to earth for that, and Synthetics, Aave, Zalika, and Hedera, some notable ones that are all down 20% for the week. Now, taking a look at the charts here, I have a very zoomed in Bitcoin chart. So the first thing to highlight here is this is where the Twitter announcement we were working on coming into this support level, and then the Twitter announcement came out and this big green candle into resistance here was what preceded that. We were kind of consolidating between this daily support here at 43,830 and this resistance at 44,855. You can see here this midpoint has been hit several times. It seems to be consolidating on that midpoint. We'll see if that Twitter news can buoy the network and keep it consolidating and moving upward in this channel that we've started to work on building out this channel here. Now, one other thing I'll point out is that the price action sold off. We had highlighted, or I had on Twitter, flipping to the weekly chart here real fast, I had highlighted that we came into some weekly resistance right through here after a seeming breakout, and then that's where we reversed quickly on this seeming breakout right into the weekly resistance at 48K. Then we sold off all the way down, straight down to the 120-day SMA, which for those of you that watch my channel will know that's a key level that I watch. That's kind of my key barometer. As long as we're north of that, I remain bullish, and if we were to get below that, then I would be defensive. So Bitcoin is currently trying to find support here on the back of that Twitter news and looking to try to break through this 44,855 daily resistance. Now notice we have weekly resistance right at 46,000 coming in. Also just below that 46,000 we have the 200-day SMA, which we need to retake fairly soon if we want to maintain our bullish bias. And then we have a very important trend line that we're trying to break here on this peak of 53,000, then our big sell-off, the bounce to 49,000, and the second phase of the sell-off. The price action is trying to work its way back up to this trend line here to give this trend line a test. So be cautious coming into those levels. Should we see those levels in the next few days, that's where I will be looking to be cautious about. Zooming out a bit on Litecoin, I do want to highlight something. These descending triangle patterns are actually technically bearish patterns, as I shared on Twitter. Something I want you to notice, if you take from this very high point and you draw across these two peaks here, you actually had the potential false breakout twice now. And we've come to the very end of this pattern. So normally when you come to the end of a potential consolidation pattern, a lot of times you just continue sideways out of that pattern as the market hadn't made a decision. Normally you want to see those patterns break out 60 to 70, 80% of the way through the pattern. When it gets to the end, it's normally pretty boring price action. And in this case, because you had these false breakouts, my expectation would be for it to maybe bounce one more time and then finally get below and break this support level, catch it as resistance, and then start the new phase of underperforming underneath this support. But we'll keep a close eye on that. Should this alternate trend line here be the one that we should be watching, this consolidation, we still could get a technical breakout of this and a move to the upside. But again, this pattern, a descending triangle pattern like this is technically a bearish pattern, and it breaks down more than it breaks up. One could also argue that perhaps this is more of a descending wedge, and those tend to break up slightly more than they break down, given if it's in an uptrend. The problem is that this is a very macro long-term wedge, and it's been going pretty much sideways and technically probably in a downtrend. So I don't know that I would consider this bullish because it's not in the context of an overall uptrend. Now Solana continues to slowly bleed out on the other side of making this very strong run all the way up to 216 US dollars. But here on the Bitcoin chart, made a very strong run, obviously. And then ever since it started to bleed out, and then we've had the issues with the network going down a couple of times. We'll see what happens here. Might be getting a little bit of consolidation. Could make another leg up. Technically speaking, it did break out and is maybe coming back for a retest. So a resumption of this might be interesting for those who are following Solana closely for a trade entry. And Avalanche is the last one to take a quick look at. It just simply continues its tear. It's in price discovery, putting in a little bit of a bull flag over here potentially. Given that it's run so much, I would obviously personally be waiting for more consolidation before trying to take an entry on it. Well, thank you all so much. I hope you found this video useful. If you made it this far, please consider liking, subscribing, and even perhaps sharing this video with someone else. Thank you. Have a good one.